right, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Town Seal and Branding Committee on January 24th, 2024. We're gonna go right, just one comment I want to make. We cannot email each other as a group. We do violate open meeting laws, so no email threads, please. You can't email more than 2 others at a time. You just don't even do it. Okay, I want to start this up. We have someone to work on design for our seal and our branding, and that's Favorman Design. We have Mark Favorman with us. Mark.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Mark Favorman, they use great terms like graceful civic branding and a sense of arrival and a sense of place. So with that, Mark, I'm going to hand it to you.
Oh, Amber, do you mind muting yourself? We're hearing a little bit of echoing from your speakers.
If I could just add before Mark starts. So Mark is going to walk us through.
Yeah, just so you know, I am going to mute. I have my fur baby jumping in the bed. I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I'm probably going to shut my camera off. But I have my niece, Talitha here, Sunrise, who is the artist that I mentioned in the email, just to give some input. I hope that's okay. So I think that's my hearing my
Okay. Breaking up a bit, but okay.
Okay, so Mark's going to walk us through the process that he would use, and then our goals for today would be to have everybody look at what we talked about with respect to the town seal, so we can give Mark some direction, and then talk a little bit about our goals for branding, maybe have some brainstorming in our group, and talk about what stakeholders might be. So Mark can walk away here with a sense of where we're thinking on the seal, a sense of what, just to get some ideas going on the branding before we even start with the public, and then work to have a list of stakeholders so that Amy and Mark can work out how to set those up. Does that make sense? So Mark, I'll turn it over to you. I can shut this because it has a window. Just pointing that out.
Okay. If we can start, I'm going to show a short slideshow. Now I say it's short because it has 30 slides. For me, that's very short. Can we go to the beginning?
Okay, just let me know when you want me to advance to the next
There
screen.
we go. Yeah, I'll just say next. How's that?
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So I'm going to start out with the concept of community branding, and it's also called civic branding and urban branding. You live close enough to Brookline to know this place, which is the marquee of the Coolidge Corner Theater. I designed this in 2002, and it's become an icon for the community. So it relates to what we're talking about today. Next slide, please. So what we're dealing with? We're wrestling with something that is really large-scale branding to civic environments, corporate entities, sports events, and institutions. The best brands are organic. Paris is romance, Athens is classical history, Hong Kong is trade. And it's all about turning a location, a place, into a destination. Next slide. So what I showed you on the previous slide was an image from Paris, and that's the entrance to the metro. The metro, I think there are a couple hundred of those, and they're Art Nouveau, and they're very Parisian. And you see those everywhere in Paris, as opposed to seeing the Eiffel Tower from everywhere, which you don't. Following along, the tube in London, East Finchley is part of that tube system. And then at the bottom of the image is the much maligned and deservedly so MBTA logo. But it is fairly strong. It's been around for that logo for over 50 years now. And what does this do for everyone? It reinforces identity, it visually defines character, it underscores uniqueness, it links collective memory, and it connects communal familiarity. You see the connections between memory and uniqueness and familiarity. All those things are very important. Next. And that leads to what was said earlier, a sense of arrival, a sense of place, a sense of shared memory, community identification, community ethos, and a shared spirit of place. Who knows what that image is on the right?
Stonehenge.
Yes. So I took that a number of years ago around the winter solstice at dawn, and I wanted to illustrate the shared spirit of place because that certainly has it. Next. So what is this an image of? Everybody knows this, right?
Motif one.
That's right. Motif number one in Rockport, the most painted barn in the United States. The power of community brand, it celebrates attributes, it underscores positive perceptions, it supports economic stimulation, it strengthens pride of place, it underscores placemaking, which is very ambiguous, but we'll talk about that a little bit later, and creates a true destination. Next. And community branding includes cultural narratives, urban engagement, small scale interventions, communal experience, emotional connection, focused perception, place promotion, which relates to the value of your real estate, stakeholder ownership, and strategic vision. This is a picture of the Boston Marathon running about a block and a half from where I'm talking to you from on Beacon Street. At the edge of Brookline and the entrance to Boston. And overhead is a sculpture that I did in 2005 that's part of the sculpture collection of the public art collection of the city of Boston. And we'll talk about that at a different time. Next.
That's Audubon Circle, right?
Yeah. Urban branding tools. Symbol, monument, icon, gateway, street furniture, wayfinding, signage, pageantry, public art, landscape, visual theming, social media. The only one you might not know what it is pageantry, and that's very simple. Banners, flags, and bunting. Temporary. All the rest are more or less permanent. Social media is also temporary. Next. So looking at what we're trying to do, we're trying to create the essence of a place, and without going into too much detail, the one on the left is an image that we created for Sturbridge and not Sturbridge Village, but Sturbridge, the town of Sturbridge, and I'll go into that at the next meeting when we talk about case studies. There again is the Coolidge Corner Theater marquee. And the one on the right is, of course, where men go down to the sea in ships, and that's in Gloucester. Next. So certain towns have taken an image and they've sort of made it into a marketing piece. And this is a case in Copenhagen with the Little Mermaid. Next. Cape Cod Chips uses this lighthouse, which is located in Eastham on the Cape. And Cape Cod Chips are actually made on the Cape. So that's pretty neat. And then there's the vanity plate from Massachusetts that also uses this image. Next. And in Springfield, where Dr. Seuss was born, they have a system too and a vanity plate for that area as well. Next. Now, this is an interesting example. This is an island off of the coast of Iceland, and it's where puffins go to breed and have chicks. So they've taken the puffin and used it in street furniture and in wayfinding. Next. So wayfinding is another way to help with the image. These four signs I'll quickly go over. The one on the top left is in Barcelona. The one on the right is in North Adams and Massmoka. The one on the bottom is somewhere in Boston, and you can see all the people around it, none, but it's an expensive explanation of what that area is. And the one on the right is in Leicester Square in London, which is a map, and you see people are always using it. Give you some ideas. Next. So to summarize, and the only poetry I'll share today is the community branding allows for enhancing the urban fabric. It also allows a way to fix the holes and tears in the civic tapestry. And community branding underscores the unique character and personality of a particular place, therefore recognizing it as, again, a destination. And wayfinding is an expression of community branding that adds comfort as people try to access the place. Next slide, please. Showing you an example, a real quick case is Wakefield. Next slide. I looked around Wakefield, and the only really strong element that seemed a little bit unique was this bandstand or gazebo. It's either. And it's a historic site. And so what we did is we interpreted this. Next. And we came up with a sign system based on it. Next. And they got some money from the state, and they did a series of these kiosks. On the front is a directory of the businesses and the historical images and a map. And that stays there until businesses change, and then they can change it out. And on the back are temporary posters and announcements from organizations and the town. Next. And then we did a style guide based on this for the community. And the style guide is used in all the stationery, website, announcements, all kinds of things in the town. Next. And we'll do that for you as well. And here's just an example of how we looked at things. Next. Even the cards. Next. And newsletters and everything that you can imagine we did layouts for. Next. Now, Danvers was I won't say it was easy, it was difficult. And the problem was that depending on, it had a big committee, and depending on who showed up at the committee is how loud they were. And some people wanted the historical houses to be the image, and others wanted something related to the farmland. And finally, the neutral thing was to use their seal. So we came up with a sign system which used their town seal, as you can see. Next. And here's the element, the family of elements to show about parking. Parking is an important aspect of signage, as you well know. Next. And we did a specifications book, which we will do for you at the end of this as well, so that vendors can then implement what we design.
This is a little bit busy too.
Yeah.
He's trying to do too much.
Yeah, I said it was a compromise. I didn't say I liked it. Next. Next. Here's an example of Sturbridge, which is, I'll tell you the story why it's that image. Sturbridge considered itself the central to New England. It's the crossroads of New England. And I couldn't find anything that was the least bit graphic that we could interpret until I looked up on a steeple on a church, and I saw this weather vane, and I said, oh, well, that works. And then I discussed it with the person who called themselves a town historian, and he says, well, a couple of problems there. It was the church was built after a fire in 1910. I said, okay. And he said, but it wasn't made in Sturbridge. And I reminded him that the people who founded Sturbridge weren't made there either. And that was, next. So here's the implementation of it, which went very well. Next. And the then town administrator had a blog, and he wanted to use the graphic, and he asked us to create a graphic for his blog. and we used it for that. Next. And on their own, they applied it to their website.
Nice.
So I'm trying to show you connections between what we're trying to do in Needham and what, others have already done. Next. Thank you for being patient. Now you can ask me questions. The next meeting, we will probably look at certain aspects of what branding can do. And then the following meeting, we will do case studies. And the fourth meeting, we will do what I call an ideation exercise. Ideation exercise is a word association system that we will develop. And you will do most of the talking, I'll do most of the listening. And we will come up with word pictures of what you want to accomplish. Then we will come back to you with these things illustrated and designed. And then you can refine them, reject them, celebrate them, whatever. And then we will have a package to show to the select board, hopefully get it approved. By the way, they are the commissioners of roads and sidewalks by state fiat. So they have to generally approve things. And then we will then do the specification packages and guidelines, and they will be digital so you can download them and use them. So was that succinct enough, Amy?
Yes.
Right.
This is not the first time I've done this, but I mean, it's always fun to start with a new community that
It's really exciting to think about what it might be. My question is, how do you avoid the completely obvious, right? So we have, for instance, a cupola on the library, a cupola on the high school, and a cupola on town hall that have always been the symbols, and it's kind of obvious, and I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No.
Can we not be obvious? But then we might end up with the cupola and everybody wants it, so.
And weren't there years of having a pansy too?
I don't know, but that's certainly an idea.
I
That's a
thought.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I have no bias coming in. So I am open. I am not bringing any, hidden agenda that has to look a certain way. So I just want to offer that to you, because sometimes I'm accused of that at the end. They say, oh, you knew all along what you were going to do. No, I didn't. So
All right.
this is the most fun that you're going to have working on a capital expenditure in a civic environment, because there's very little homework. There's a lot of subjectivity and personality in this, and it's very cost effective in terms of what you get as a final product, and it's a quick turnaround. So all of those things are very positive.
One more question, Mark. This is Kate. Does the location where towns intend to use it influence what you do? So we are, for instance, wanting to pull off the seal from our vehicles and our clothing and our police uniforms, as opposed to just maybe on a blog or wayfinding. Does that influence how you think about it?
No, it all should
Okay.
work. And one of the exercise, I left this out, and thank you for bringing this up. I left out another exercise that you are going to do, and that is a locational map of where elements will go, and we'll have a list of other, applications of it as well. The application will be for wayfinding and signage, and the list of other needs, like on the police patch or the fireman patch or on the DPW truck. We will look at all of this for you.
Great. Well, we've done that inventory, so Amy will send it to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I was wondering if you want to also talk about the town seal. We would like you guys to,
You want to run through the things?
Yeah.
Mark hasn't had time to read it, so.
Yeah.
right, you haven't read it, well, go through it, but we
Can
basically.
I ask a
just-
question?
Yes.
How did you end up getting Mark? I must have missed a process along here.
We did, remember we did the RFP, the request for quotes,
Yeah.
and Mark was the lowest responsive bidder.
Oh, thank you.
And had
But the best one.
done work with Amy and Dedham, so we knew.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Because I missed that.
It happened to
I'm
me.
really disappointed. I left a lot of money on the table then.
No,
No,
you didn't.
yeah, really. Trust me.
It was a struggle. I told everybody that we lost half of our funding, but the select board found us enough to make up, so we,
Right, part of the state grant was cut,
yeah, state grant was
Yeah,
cut.
you mentioned.
so we moved money.
So, but, is everybody okay to move on to the seal, or does anybody else wanna talk about branding anymore?
No, see, I'm ready for seal.
Okay, so Kevin's gonna run through the things that we've talked about so far, and Amy also emailed it to you, so you'll have it.
Right, so the town seal was created, 1890 by 3 people. And they're trying to achieve a few things. Over time, they're not historically accurate, maybe moderately offensive, but we want to actually re-articulate it a bit. Overall, I like the etching quality of the seal it's not a bad seal, but it's doing too much. It has a slightly white male perspective. The scenes.
Slightly.
Slightly, yeah.
All right, so in it, there is a scene depicting Chief Nahoyden handing over, who was a praying Indian, who was highly educated, bilingual, and could do legal work for the English to establish the deeds of land after the King Philip's War. We have him, is depicted handing over a deed to the colonists in the town of Dedham. Needham used to be part of Dedham. It was an event in 1680. But part of it, interestingly, Nahoyden carved out 40 acres of Hemlock Gorge as a fishing weir on the Charles River for his family in perpetuity. Perpetuity lasted until, I think, his grandchildren. In this, so there's the exchange happening in the foreground of 2 white settlers, 2 Englishmen, and Nahoyden. In the background is the High Rock, which is a volcanic feature in Needham. It looks like Blue Hills, and it's not well rendered. In fact, one version has 2 peaks, right?
Yes,
Okay,
a bad altered version.
all right. Needham is wrapped around by Needham. Needham is wrapped around by the Charles River and on 2 sides. And here it looks like the Mississippi. We probably need to look more like the Charles River. All right, so it doesn't have to be brown though. It has the date the town was incorporated in 1711, but yet the event is 1680. There's an image of a teepee, the Native American teepee, that is not accurate at all. It should be a Wetu. The crosses that symbolize the town and the first parish appear really medieval, and they're no longer appropriate. In fact, a good Puritan wouldn't have had crosses anyways.
Right.
There's the prominent oak tree on the right, perhaps represent the station tree. It was perhaps used as a boundary, but it has a certain an itch you can't scratch quality to it. It's neither in the picture or in the frame, kind of. We would like the seal to convey a more accurate picture of the historic event. The depiction as a transaction is perhaps, it is offensive. And the seal should convey the role of the indigenous people in the area. And which land ownership was not a common concept. And finally, I'd also say the slightly medieval calligraphy, the font is not appropriate. It's trying to look more ancient than it is. It was 1711, so well into the Gutenberg press. There's been talking perhaps Nahoyden, we like Nahoyden in the seal. I think he has a place, and a good place. He's to be celebrated. We don't want to remove this or to remove the history of what happened or the importance of the indigenous people. But we are thinking sort of the narrative of him walking out of a path out of a teepee is too much of a simplification. I would think also the dynamic of 2 Englishmen and 1 Native American is not accurate, isn't appropriate. I think we talked about having several Native Americans and maybe 2 Englishmen, but something like that just sort of showed there was there was a balance here. And I think that's kind of.
I think one structural piece is that we've decided as a group that the seal recommendation would come from this group, and we're not looking to, go out and get a lot of feedback from it. We're looking to update this seal, but with all those things that Kevin said, as opposed to creating a new seal out of whole cloth, which some towns have done.
Did I read somewhere that somebody worked on it in the 50s as well?
Gloria, do you know?
Did somebody try to refine it in the 1950s?
It's funny you say that because in a weird way, that the clothing of the Englishmen, it kind of looks like, they don't look like real, they look like they're wearing fedoras. Everything seems sort of simplified but I don't think so. But maybe that's where the second mountain came in. Certain things happened.
Gloria, do you know?
No, I hadn't, but Kevin's right. There are sort of alternate versions. There is a second mountain peak. The birds change, so it's possible that somebody tried to clean it up. If Teddy has a copy of that Town Seals book, that probably has the most original version.
Well, we certainly can work with this and try to get it to a point that everyone will agree that it looks better than what this does and tells the story better.
So you didn't like the beading too?
Oh, yeah, like,
Sorry about
I wanted to tell you, however, that every town seal that I've looked at in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it's probably about 40 of them, they always have a Native American in a secondary role to the white settlers. And this one at least is not warlike. So you don't have any guns or bows and arrows, pointing at people, which you see in some of them. And it's always based on that. So it must have been very stylish at the time that these things were created, which was around the turn of the last century. So it's interesting. We worked on one in Wayland, and I'll tell you more about that when we talk about case studies. And trying to refine that and draw from it things that we could do for the brand of the town as well. So, yeah, it's a challenge, but yes, certainly we're going to work with you on it.
Okay. Yes.
One other thing I think I recall people saying is we thought it was important to have input sharing from our representative of the indigenous people whose ancestors were on this land. And I know I've read about the process in some other towns where I think Mashpee is one of them, where the Wampanoag representatives played a very strong role in helping to follow up on what you were saying in the points here about finding another way, maybe an authentic way, to reflect the relationship with indigenous peoples.
Yeah, I kind of took what Amber said verbatim and wrote it down, so.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. These are just notes from our first two meetings, so, yeah, I'm hoping that Amber and any of her colleagues.
Yeah, Amber, you on?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Mark, actually, so historically, town of Natick was a praying town. The Reverend
Hi,
Elliot.
so my niece has some suggestions. Hi.
You're breaking up, Amber. Come on. Are we up?
Yeah, it's just again. So my niece, who is also Massachusetts Indian and does share, but just
Amber,
We can't
again,
hear you.
everything that's just spot
You're
on.
really breaking up a lot, Amber. Do you turn off your video? Sometimes audio comes across better without video. Want to try it?
Let's try that. Is that better?
Yes,
Yes.
much better.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
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 Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. Okay, hi again. So far, everything that we've discussed has been spot on, and thank you for, taking to heart the suggestions that we had last time on behalf of our tribe. And my niece, who is also Massachusetts Praying Indian and our artist, does have a couple suggestions. But I just, again, think it's really important that whatever we decide is a representation of what happened in the past, and then also what we're comfortable in the present with it too, because it's the future generations that are going to be looking to this to know what happened in the past. So, Talitha, do you want to kind of add your artistic input?
Sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm Talitha Fort Sunrise. Yeah, I did hear a whole lot of good suggestions, and my aunt Amber. But I do feel like there is a whole lot of things that are going on in the seal that is just kind of isn't really needed. And I feel like the main focus should be Nahan and the settlers, and the importance of the deed and everything. And I feel like the teepee and the tree is kind of in a weird area that might not be needed as well. So I feel like it's good to focus more on what is actually going on, and then more than what
The
is going on
background.
in the background.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's like
yeah.
a couple of my suggestions, I guess.
So
Yeah.
clean it up, in other words, really clean it up. And
Yeah.
and whatever's there has to be symbolic and clear.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And
Yep.
please feel free to defer to us for any of, like, the intricacies of, his headdress, or what exactly would the Weetor wigwam look like historically, or if there, you want to keep some type of a mountain, what should that look like based on where they were? And I really like the idea of having maybe another tribal member, because
Mhm.
it would be a tribe that had any type of transaction. It typically wouldn't be just one person or one native standing alone. There would be somebody else with him, even though, yes, that was his land and what he was doing. There still should have been just something else or somebody else there too. So I like that suggestion too. I don't know who suggested it, but I thought that was a nice
Yeah.
idea.
Actually, Amber, can I throw this on you then? How would Nahoyden
I'm sorry,
be
could you repeat
dressed?
that?
All right, how would Nahoyden be portrayed? Hear the,
Yeah.
all right, sorry for the reverb and the echo. All right, because he's a native, but at the same time, like, he's a, he's a student of John Eliot. So he, in a weird way, feels like he has, and he has a foot in two cultures.
Mhm.
So there might be some discussion, like, is a headdress inappropriate, but it helps, like, it's sort of a good icon to identify.
And there's Wyatt's
Well,
version.
headdress is usually something, like that for a ceremony or a chief or something of importance. I don't know if this would have necessarily been something that been, a celebratory moment that a headdress would be appropriate. Maybe a wampum belt or something like that. And we can most certainly maybe send some ideas of, what that would look like. But just that seems like it would be a little more realistic for what was going on, or a transaction of that point. Yeah.
Okay,
Is there any thought that's been given to a slogan or tagline to this?
On the seal?
Somewhere, I mean, to me, it needs some explanation, because there's such good story, a good narrative here. It's not being expressed very well visually, and it's certainly use some more verbiage, I think. If we could make it
We're
elegant.
open.
we're open,
We're
yeah,
open.
Okay, okay.
As long as Gloria and Amber say it.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, this is maybe for later, but for some reason I came across something about the new Minnesota state seal. Minnesota had a seal that depicted a man plowing a field and a native man on a horse riding out of the scene. I mean, serious manifest destiny. And they trashed that entirely. The new seal has a loon on a lake with pine trees. But what they did is they put the motto, the state motto, in Dakota on the seal.
Yeah, no, see, that's to me,
So
Much
to
more
include, you know,
authentic,
to
yeah.
include the native presence without having the guy being physically pushed off his land.
that's what I was trying to reach for. Yeah, good. And we have a lot to work with here, so.
Okay.
You don't have a motto.
We have a motto. Amber, if you could come up with the translation for like, heaven is great.
Tear the house down.
Now give us your land, our land back.
Oh, right. That'd be great. Okay, we can come, that'd be a good one to work on.
Thank you for being a resource, Amber and Sunrise.
All right, hey, Talitha, did you sketch anything? Do you want to email it to the group? Or no, you can't do it to the group. Email it to Amy.
Email it to Amber and Amber like email him.
Yeah, we have to be careful how we cannot email to the group.
But can't she send out things that are informational?
It's just easier if Amy does it.
Yeah.
But I
it's-
mean, once she gets it.
Amy can.
Yes, I
Amy
can
does,
then forward
Amy
it.
does,
That's
yes.
what I meant. I'm trying to
Yes.
understand.
We cannot have a committee meeting over email, so yes.
Yes, I've been on the human rights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we have a meeting in 2 weeks-ish.
21st.
February 21st.
That's far.
Yeah, the next one is,
As of last month, you said the 21st.
do you want to meet tomorrow? Okay, no.
You see the clock?
Yes, please, please. Tomorrow would be
Well,
great.
if we meet the 21st, we're gonna have to set up, like every 2 weeks after that for a while probably, so. But that gives you, Mark, some time to get ready, or what do you think?
Well, generally when we do these, do you have a deadline you want this done by? Is there a
We
particular
have to
time?
spend the money June 30th, absolutely out the door, check written.
Okay, well, we could invoice before that and still work on it.
Not that you just said that in a public meeting, you can't.
No.
So,
Well, but I've been doing it for the state for 12 years, and that's one of the issues we have too, because the state's schedule and the cities and towns don't have the same schedule. So that's the issue. If your town meeting interrupts, for instance, and other things interrupt, it might delay certain
Oh, wait.
aspects of it.
we actually only have to spend 25,000 of it by June 30th. So this actually, let me get back to you on that, Amy and I can strategize.
Okay, I mean, I'm not trying to cause any, I'm just trying to make it easier on everybody, more fun.
We have multiple funding sources, so that will work.
Right, so we're gonna get through some funding by.
Okay, all right.
June.
So we generally take 3 to 4 weeks between meetings because the members of the advisory committee on this need time to let this sort of allow you to think about it, allow you to work with it. And then you can come back fresh and say, well, we thought about this and this should be this way, or this should be that way. So that's generally my approach with other communities. If you want to do it quicker, we certainly do it quicker, but it will be easier on you if we have a length of time between the various meetings.
Well,
Let me know.
February 21st is good, and then we'll set it out schedule after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll tighten up, okay. We'll make it 3 weeks. Right, 3 weeks?
Do you have the date now? It just is really. nice.
Amy, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you have everybody go around the room and tell me who they are?
Oh, sure.
And that would be helpful, and so I know, and then I'll give you more of my background at the end of that.
Sure.
Sure.
So, well, I'll start. You know me, Amy Halson. I'm the Director of Communications and Community Engagement for the town of Needham.
I'm Marshall Davis, representative of the Needham Historical Commission.
Yeah, I'm Kevin Keane, Needham Select Board.
Kate Fitzpatrick, Town Manager.
Teddy Eaton, Town Clerk.
Cynthia Ganong from the Human Rights Committee.
I'm Topher Cox. I guess I'm here representing the Needham artists.
And we also have Gloria.
Hi, Gloria Grice. I'm the Executive Director of the Needham History Center and also the representative for the Needham History Center.
And also Amber.
Hi, I'm not, because I don't want to do the feedback. Hi, Amber Orlando, I'm Indian.
If you
Did
can hear
the
that, Mark,
bird
Amber's
sound
joining us.
of the neighboring Indians?
Praying Indian.
And I'm sorry, I missed it. Who's joining us?
Amy, Mark, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes,
Mark, you want to introduce yourself?
my name is Mark Faverman. My firm is Faverman Design. It was started almost antediluvian in 1980. Antediluvian means before the flood. And I'm an urban designer and planner who focuses on the pieces of the city or the town that make it livable. So we look at branding, we look at the wayfinding, we look at streetscapes, we look at public art, we look at storefronts, we look at all the things that are necessary to make a place more livable and more accessible and also more beautiful. I have a team of graphic designers, industrial designers, and other planners who we work together on projects. I'm the person, though, who goes to the meetings because I'm the only one who has the patience, apparently, to do it. And I've been doing it a long time. But I'm impressed with this committee. I think it's a very good makeup that you have of the people on it, and very strong. And I went to graduate school in the Boston area, so I moved up here from, of all places, Virginia. So I had some history in my background from there. So Massachusetts history is just a few years later, but very much in the same way. And I've stayed, and I live and work in a 1897 carriage house in Boston. And so I never leave home and I never leave work.
Oh, dear.
COVID.
I feel
So
that.
then our meeting tomorrow will not be a problem for you to get this done.
And I pulled my back, or I would be there in person tonight. I apologize.
Sorry.
Oh, dear.
It only hurts when I breathe. So.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so I sketched out 4, see how these are. March 13th?
We have February 21st.
Yes, after
Yep.
February.
These are all
13.
Wednesdays.
13th?
So Wednesdays are the only days, right?
Well,
That's,
that's sort of how we,
Yeah.
Gloria, you have a
We have a
meeting
board meeting.
at 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
can,
I could,
Topher, is there a day of the week that you could do 4 o'clock? Or is that never?
I mean, Thursdays would be better. Mondays and Wednesdays are the top ones. Yeah.
that's when you're on the road.
That's when but my older daughter has her license now, so if she's not working, she could take over my responsibilities. But you guys probably, because you're working for the town, don't want to go past 5
Well,
o'clock.
we all have night meetings that are already at 6. So
Yeah,
that's
okay,
we're trying to
gotcha.
squeeze this in.
So I mean,
I can do.
I'll do my
I
best
can
to,
do the 12th. Can people do the 12th?
of,
Tuesday? I know, but it's not till 6.
oh, yeah, okay. You can do Tuesday the 12th,
oh my God, you guys are amazing.
yeah, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, if you do that, then, we just have to be upstairs by 5:45. Then,
That's when you have select board.
Yeah.
yeah, 6, yeah.
You don't have to be working that time.
April 2nd, Tuesday.
Tuesday, so we're going to Tuesdays now?
I mean,
No,
If it
no,
works
I
for
mean,
you,
just-
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Tuesday.
So it's gonna be Tuesday the 12th, right?
Yeah, can we do Tuesday, this April 2nd?
Do you have select board then too?
No, well, maybe, but
Oh,
only if necessary.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking it gives you all.
We're here every night.
Tuesday, I'm sorry, that's the 2nd.
Does that work?
Amber, how's
Do
that
you have a
work?
problem, Gloria?
Nope, that's good. Both days are good.
Amber?
What was the second day? I'm sorry.
April 2nd?
That might be difficult for, that's actually, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Okay.
is
Why don't we
a
just
difficult
do,
day. That's our mom and chief's memorial date. So,
Oh,
So
all
let's
right.
do the third.
Well, okay, we'll do the 3rd and maybe,
Yeah.
Topher's daughter will be in charge.
So the third.
She'll either drive or she'll.
Okay.
Okay. Nice.
Or she'll be at work.
All right, well, that's good enough for now, I think.
Yeah,
So Wednesday,
Wednes-
February 21st, Tuesday, March 12th, and Wednesday, April 2nd.
Right, Wednesday, April 3rd.
April
Wednesday,
3rd.
Amy, would you have to send calendar invites to everyone? so they
Yes,
know all the-
absolutely.
So, meaning, for me at least.
Yes,
And Kevin.
I'll send those out first thing.
Great, thanks, everybody.
all right. Oh, do we have to adjourn?
Yes,
All
motion to
right.
adjourn.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
second?
Thank you. All right, now do,
We have to go on that.
we do. All right, Gloria?
Yes?
Okay, Amber?
Like if you want to stay here longer.
Motion to adjourn, Amber.
Yeah, do you want to adjourn?
Thank you.
I heard a yes. Topher?
Yep.
Cynthia?
Yes.
yes, all right. It's my computer or something.
All right, well, you were, all right, and Kate?
Yes.
Board, the chair, yes, and Marshall,
Yes.
all right.
Okay, oh, yes.
Good. Well, yes, we're adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Meet everyone.
Thank you.
Amber, have your, niece send that artwork.
Mark, I love those birds at Audubon Circle.
So what?
Oh,
Love the bird.
Oh, the bird in Audubon Circle, there are birds up on the poles.
Can I send you a
Yeah.
letter?
It's really nice.
That's nice.